for you all because we have IIT Bombay folks with us, and मेरे ख्याल से they are part of admissions committee, and they all are first year by the way. You know, ये सब बड़े लोग हैं, IIT Bombay में बैठे हैं, इंडिया का top 10 है, and I have Kshitij who was my student last year मेरे ख्याल से. Then we've got Vidisha, we've got Vikas, we've got Bhavish, and we've got Harsh also. So these students of IIT Bombay will help you to understand कि भाई IIT Bombay कितना बड़ा है, प्लेसमेंट क्या है, आपको अप्लाई करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए. नहीं का तो सवाल पैदा नहीं होता डेफिनेटली, बट अगर आप एलिजिबल हो कि नहीं हो, वो सब चीजें हम कवर करने वाले हैं. And anything that you guys want to ask them, you can ask them towards the end of the session because they will be taking care of the Q&A also. So Kshitij and team, welcome on board. Happy to have you guys. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for that amazing introduction. So,
Problem.
wait 1 minute. Let me just share my screen. Sir, can you just give us a permission to host the presentation?
Sure. What I'll do, who's going to be the presenter? Vidisha, is it you?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to make you host. ठीक है? Now you have the entire charge. Okay, go ahead.
Sure. So, hello everyone. We are currently the students of Shailesh Mehta School of Management, IIT Bombay. So today we'll be taking you through like the admission criteria of SGM SOM, the admissions timeline, wherein we'll be explaining all the timelines for the shortlist and the interviews. Then we'll move on to giving our interview experiences, how it was for us while we were interviewed last year for this same college. Then we'll talk a little about the diversity in our batch, and then we'll move on to the placements and also what it is to be a part of SGM SOM and why should you actually choose SGM SOM. So let us all start with a brief introduction. So Bhavish, can you go ahead and share your introduction, please?
So, hello everyone. I am Bhavesh Shivle from Devas, Madhya Pradesh. I completed my engineering in electronics and communication from Sir M. Visvesvaraya Institute of Technology, Bangalore in 2020. After that, I was working in Accenture as a senior analyst, and I have a total work experience of around 30 months.
Thank you, Bhavesh. Harsh?
Yeah, hello all. So I'm Harsh Soni and I'm from Mumbai. I've done my BTech in electronics and telecommunications from Dadar Institute of Technology here in Mumbai. And post that, I had a work ex of 2 years in Oracle as an associate consultant. Thanks.
Thank you, Harsh. Kshitij?
So, hello everyone, I'm Kshitij Dwivedi and I have completed my BTech in Mechanical Engineering from Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, Pune. And I come from a defense background and I have also cleared many defense exams such as UPSC CDS and FCAT, in which I have scored AR 57 and 170.
Thank you, Kshitij. Vikas?
Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Vikas. I'm from Bangalore. I've finished my mechanical engineering degree from BMSC Bangalore. After that, I worked as a product engineer at Hewlett Packard Enterprise for 2 years.
Okay, so talking about myself, I am Vidisha Singhal. I have completed my computer engineering in the year 2020, post which I joined Accenture as a DevOps security analyst. So I have roughly around 2.5 years of work experience. So moving on with our presentation. So talking about the admission criteria. So for that, we accept only CAT score for the domestic candidates, and who all can apply is basically the people, everyone who has done the 4 years bachelor's degree or more. That is the minimum criteria for us. So in case you have done a 3 years bachelor's degree, then you need to have a master's degree, that is mandatory. So in all, you should be having at least 48 months of your education after completing your 12th. In case you have done a diploma, then a 36 months of bachelor's degree, or if you have like again you have like only 2 years of bachelor's degree post that, then you need to have a master's degree. And also if you have completed CA, CS, CFA or the other listed exams, so after completing your bachelor's degree in any discipline, that is okay with us. And one more thing is that the qualifying degree, which in case of the students who have completed 48 months is the qualifying degree for them becomes a bachelor's degree. You need to have at least 60% in that. And for the students who have done 36 months of their bachelor's degree, for them, the qualifying degree is considered as a master's degree. So they need to have at least 60% in their master's degree for that. So how are the admissions timeline here? So the forms are already out. You can fill out the applications by 31st January, 5 p.m. So that's the deadline for us. So we haven't ever extended the deadline. So make sure you are on time with filling the deadlines. After that, by the 3rd week of February, we'll be releasing the shortlist for the interviews. And the interview dates for SGM SOM this year will be 7th to 10th March. It will be an offline interview, which will be conducted in the IITB campus itself. So you all will be required to be present over here. And all the other details will be shared to the shortlisted candidate via the email. So talking about the interview experiences for all of us. So Bhavesh, would you go on with your interview experience?
Sure. So my interview experiences was quite comprehensive. So the interview started with my introduction. After that, since I was an electronics engineer, I was asked about how my knowledge from electronics I was using at my work. Then I was asked about the questions on why MBA and few questions about the telecom landscape, since I was working in the telecom domain that time. And they asked me questions like market share of Jio, Airtel, and how they were moving forward. Then the other panelist asked me about my final year project, further question on the sensors which I used and why those sensors. So expect like further questioning on each of the answer you give. So be prepared on that. And after that, the third panelist also asked me about if I was aware of the term fast fashion and did I think it was sustainable. So they also tried to gauge our views on different topics on about how we think, how functional we think, and and the panelists will also judge you on the current affairs and how you are aware of your surroundings. So overall, be prepared about your profile. Try to drive your interview through your introduction and prepare for further cross questioning on every answer that you give.
Thank you, Bhavesh. Harsh?
Yeah, sure. So my interview started with like a couple of questions on the hobbies that I had mentioned, and the interviewer picked up the hobbies and tried to question me to get a clarity on what I have written. Again, then it went on from like why from an electronics engineer I switched to an IT domain, and what all knowledge could I use here itself. Then it went on into a direction where my company and everything else was questioned, like the recent news and current affairs about my company and what all basically general knowledge do I know about the company, its competitors, etc. My work ex was questioned a lot. They went into detail about a couple of projects that I had done, and and the panel picked up on one of the projects that I had done in data analytics. So they questioned me about a lot about big data and how's big data playing role in the current market, and what are the tools, etc., that you use to analyze this big data. And finally, it ended with like why do you want to do an MBA after such a experience in the industry, and what all you will gain about it, and a couple of follow-up questions on that.
Thank you, Harsh. Kshitij?
Yeah, sure, Vidisha. So my interview, it consisted of three panel members. So it started with my basic introduction, and since I also mentioned that I have been through all the defense exams, so they were trying to gauge like what are the reasons that I'm not joining defense and what is the reason of doing an MBA as a fresher. Then it further went on to question about since I'm a fresher, the majority of the questions were from my core subjects, mechanical, and from my final year projects. And then there were several layers of cross questions were also, and there were questions regarding geopolitics at that point of time. What are the current affairs? As Bhavesh also mentioned, that the interviewers try to gauge your overall knowledge and also the core knowledge. And then there were certain questions that were asked about the Indian economy. And then my interview ended with the certain core questions based on thermodynamics and fluid mechanics.
Thank you, Kshitij. Vikas?
Yeah. So in my interview as well, there were three panelists. So the first panelist started out with a very basic question about tell me about yourself. This actually drives the whole interview. Further on, this panelist mostly concentrated on quizzing my general knowledge and how updated I am with the current affairs. Further on, he asked me to give a word to describe myself, a unique selling point of mine. At this point, the second panelist took over, and the second panelist questions were mostly focused on my work ex, what my general work was in my company, the tools that I use, and how well versed I was with those tools. There were three, four level deep level questions based on the same. And further on, the third panelist took over, and this was mainly sort of a behavioral question round, wherein I was asked about why I wanted to do an MBA, where I see myself in 3, 4 years down the lane, and why STM SOM in particular. So this was my interview experience.
Thank you, Vikas. So talking about myself, my interview revolved very much around tell me about yourself only. So when I started with that, I started with saying about my work experience and what I had actually, what my role was in that. And also I had mentioned my extracurriculars in my tell me about yourself, including the hobbies. So what the interviewer actually picked up for me was the extracurricular that I had mentioned. So I had mentioned that I play football. So a lot of questions for me were around football as to how I can relate the football experience with the work experience that I had. Like what are the key learnings for me in football that can be applied to the professional life as well. Then a little about the FIFA, like who are the top players. So on and all, if you're mentioning a sports in your tell me about yourself, make sure you know at least at least about that sport, like the recent news involving that sport. So that will be helpful. Other thing that they picked up on was my work experience. So since I have a 2.5 years of work ex, I was question 2, 3 level deep into that as to what my roles was, how I was working, what were my team dynamics. And then they also, since I come from a computer engineering background, so I was asked a little about Python and the coding, like basic questions like constructors and arguments and those sort of questions. And then my interview concluded with why I want to do an MBA and why I want to join SGM SOM. So moving on now. So let's talk a little about diversity in the batch. Harsh, would you like to take that up?
Yeah, sure. So as you can see here from the batch of 24, a batch is fairly diverse in nature, and despite being the myth that IIT Bombay has a lot of engineers, you can see here that there are other streams here as well. And also the gender diversity of the previous batch is also quite good. But as you will see in the next slide here, yeah. So you can see the gender diversity has fairly improved in a couple of years, where we have jumped from like 14% to 21%. And also you can see there are a lot of non-engineers here present as well, like from streams such as architecture, law, and finance, etc. Uh, Also, the students here are from mostly from premier institutes like IITs, NITs, and other top tier engineering colleges and non-engineering colleges, etc. And you can see the people here from engineering college, etc., are also from a varied background, like from electronics, mechanical, computers, IT, etc. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Harsh. Now talking about the placements, Vikas, will you take that up, please?
Sure. So yeah, as you can see here, we have put out our summer placement highlights for the batch of 2025. We are super proud to announce that our results are out, and the highest stipend stands at 5 lakh INR, which increased by 13.6% from the previous year, and the median stipend is at 3 lakh INR. This placement season, we have seen around 45 recruiting companies offering coveted roles in variety of domains. The generous offers made by the recruiters are a testament to the school's excellence and the confidence in the students' caliber. The participation of 16 new recruiters reflects the increasing faith in HMSOM's ability to produce leaders. So I think the viewers were looking forward to this more. So I think they can have a look at this. Yeah. This again is also up on our social media platform. They can visit Shailesh Mehta Instagram page to have a look at this again.
Thank you, Vikas. Moving on to SGM SOM. So Kshitij, can you please take this up?
Yeah, sure. So if so avenues is basically our fest that we have in Shailesh Mehta School of Management, and avenues is the international business fest of our institute, and is a hallmark event that we organize here. And it spans over 3 days, and it encompasses wide array of activities. There are basically 4 different things that we do in avenues. That is Alankar Talk series. So if you are into the SGM SOM college, you get a chance to be a part of Alankar Talk series, where you get tend to listen to various leaders, as you can see, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, Mr. Ratan Tata, and there are various case competitions that are being held during the avenue season. And the pro night is there. Pro night is something where a lot of comedians are there. And then there is Funkar event. Funkar is a celebration of diverse cultures and events. It showcases the talents of students in various fields such as poetry, debates, and drama. Next slide, Vidisha. Yeah, and then we also have certain series such as Continuums and Diksha. So basically, Continuum is the rolling seminar series where you tend to interact with various industry leaders, and also same it goes with Diksha as well. So both the series are with the top leadership of various companies that are there, and in various domains, as you can see, in consulting, marketing, operations, finance, and human resources. So based on your interest, you can go and talk to the leaders, clarify your doubts, and they also tend to share their practical knowledge. They have experience about 20 plus years in the industry, and they tend to come here and share their practical knowledge and hands-on experiences.
So thank you, Kshitij. Now, Bhavesh, can you please tell the audience why they must choose SGM SOM?
Hello. Yeah, sure, Vidisha. So at SGM SOMS, we have various clubs and committees. So we have around 13 clubs and 5 student-run committees. So these committees and clubs are entirely student-driven. So we have a marketing club, entrepreneurship club, consulting club, and similarly we have the placements team, cultural council, and various other things. So we have a diverse range of clubs and committees varying based on the student interest. So based on the interest, you can be a part of any of these clubs and committees. So next slide, please. Yeah, so I will highlight about the campus activities and the event which we host at IIT Bombay. So we have Mood Indigo, which is the annual cultural fest of IIT Bombay, and it is the largest college fest in Asia. So it is also known as the Char Din Ka Sapna, and it is a place where people experience 4 days power packed of competition, games, and activities, and electrifying concerts. And we also host the Tech Fest, which is the annual science and technology festival at IIT Bombay. And then there's E-Summit, which is the flagship event at Entrepreneurship Cell IIT Bombay, and it acts as a pivot in the dynamic entrepreneurship and ecosystem, where students like to engage with the founders, and so all the aspiring entrepreneurs out there, IIT Bombay is one of the best places that you can be a part of, and there is so much to learn from the IITB ecosystem, and it's truly a privilege to be part of this ecosystem. So yeah, this was it. Thank you. And talking about the eligibility criteria, there has been some common belief that only engineers are accepted. So as we have discussed earlier, that is not the case. And so the interview shortlist is given out based on the composite score cutoffs, which is calculated based on various different things, which you can see. It is given on our website. So it includes a lot of other factors apart from CAT as well, like your 10th graduation and work experience. So we encourage everyone to apply, and based on the composite score, which keeps on varying based on the pool of candidates applying each year. So we strongly encourage everyone to apply for the program.
And another thing that you can say about SGM SOM is here being a part of IITB ecosystem, you are not just limited to the opportunities that are there within the SGM SOM, but also you can be part of the e-clubs, the Mood Indigo, you can be a coordinator over there, you can be a part of the sustainability cell that the IIT Bombay hosts. So there are a lot of positions open for the MBA candidates that make them the PG conveners in that. So that is definitely one of the plus point for joining SGM SOM, because you're not just limited by being into an MBA college, but also you have access to a lot of other things that goes on in IIT Bombay. So we can now take up the queries. Bhavesh, can you just moderate that, please?
So I'm not able to see any queries right now in the chat. If there are any, we can address them. So we have a question over here. So it is, what is the good percentile to apply for the program? So again, as I mentioned that the composite score is calculated not just based on the CAT score, but it is also dependent on various other aspects of your profile, such as the 12th score, the graduation, and the work experience, and also the diversity points. So the CAT score is very variable when it comes to the composite score cutoffs. So you can try to calculate your composite scores and see how it fits in with the last year's composite score cutoffs. And again, please keep in mind that these composite score cutoffs keep on varying based on the pool of candidates applying each year. So there is no safe percentile. It depends on the profile that each and every individual has. So based on that profile, the CAT percentile varies for everyone.
Okay. A couple of questions from my side. मतलब बच्चों ने पूछा था. So how is the situation for non-engineering IIT Bombay? I'm not sure whether the numbers are quite high or not, but are people able to cope?
So this year we have around 15% of non-engineers, and we have students from architecture, law, BS, MS, BSc, MSc, MCA. So we have a various different kind of students with different diverse backgrounds. And talking about if they can cope or not, so definitely they can cope up with the program over here. So there is no need to be afraid about that, and everyone is doing very well over here. So I would say that please don't be afraid of that point, that here are more engineers. So I think it's a very it is a good opportunity for them to be over here, because the opportunities that they will get are unparalleled over here.
No, because मुझे ना एक क्वेश्चन बार बार बच्चे लोग
Also,
पूछते हैं कि सर मेरे पास मान लो न्यू आईएम्स है, या फिर मेरे पास मान लो कोई लेट्स से कोई कोड मेरे पास था, मेरा वो मिस हो गया, तो क्या मैं एक नॉन इंजीनियर, एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, कॉमर्स वाला बच्चा, मैं आईटी बॉम्बे जा सकता हूँ? मुझे रोल्स क्या मिलेंगे वहां पे? बिकॉज मैंने देखे हैं तुम लोगों के रोल्स, प्राइवेट इक्विटी है, वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट है, वो कंपनीज आती है, इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग की कंपनीज आती है, फ्रॉडमैन की कंपनीज आती है. सो यहाँ पे कितना ज्यादा नॉन इंजीनियर्स को एक एज एडवांटेज मिलता है? या फिर बहुत सारे बच्चे फॉर द फैक्ट इंजीनियर्स है, कुछ आईआईटी बॉम्बे प्लस आईआईटी बॉम्बे का एमबीए या फिर एनआईटी वगैरह वगैरह के बच्चे आते हैं. सो फॉर द फैक्ट वो आईआईटी बॉम्बे का जो टैग लगा है, इज इट द केस दैट कि सर मोस्टली इंजीनियरिंग ड्रिवन हमारी प्रोफाइल्स होती है वगैरह वगैरह? उसके बारे में आप कुछ बता पाओगे, इफ इट्स अलाउड?
so, sir, we have very distinguished faculties over here in SGM SWAM. So they do not just belong to one particular domain. They belong to a variety of domains like finance, operations, strategy, economics, like all the other domains that you can mention. So even when you're talking about the students coming from the various backgrounds, like how we mentioned that we have non-engineers as well. For them also, it's not limited to any of these particular domains, that if you come from a particular background, you'll be only put in it into this domain and you won't get opportunities to explore other domains. That is not the case here. Since it's a general
Okay.
management program, so you can explore all the domains available over here. And also, it does not affect whether or not you are an engineer or what background do you hold. It's about your ability, how well you can impress the recruiters that come over here. So it's based on your profile and your confidence at the end.
ओके. ओके. नो, सो फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे विदिशा आपके लिए. सो नाउ वी टॉक अबाउट आईएम्स, राइट? देयर आर 21 आईएम्स नाउ. एंड अगर आप देखोगे, निटी जो था, निटी पहले तो वाज नोन एज मेक्का फॉर ऑपरेशंस. लाइक निटी बहुत ज्यादा बच्चा लोग जाता था. नाउ अगर अभी निटी को इन लोगों ने कर दिया आईएम मुंबई, सो यू मस्ट हैव बीन इंटरेक्टेड विथ योर एलुमनाइज, या फिर आप लोगों ने फैकल्टी के साथ भी इंटरेक्शन करा होगा. एक आईआईटी बॉम्बे से एमबीए करना फॉर एन इंजीनियर या फिर नॉन इंजीनियर, हाउ डज द मार्केट परस्यू दैट? क्या आगे जाके कुछ, मतलब आई नो आईआईटी बॉम्बे इज अ बिग ब्रांड, बट यार एमबीए आईआईटी से कर रहा है बंदा, तो वो कुछ परसेप्शन चेंज होता है मार्केट में? लाइक आपका एक्सपीरियंस क्या रहा अपने एलुमनाई वगैरह के साथ, इफ यू कैन शेयर?
So there's, yeah, so this does not actually affect any one of us. It's not like you come from an IIT Bombay, so you have that tag and you're just meant to do technical things. It's nothing like that. You are viewed as a Shailesh Mehta School of Management student. So you're not viewed as an IITian, you're viewed here as a management student. So basically, the recruiters also see you as a management student, and there are no biases as to that they come from a technical background, so they need to be put into one special domain or only into the IT courses. There's nothing like that. There are varied roles, as you also mentioned, that there are a lot of companies that come over here that are in very diverse domains. So it's nothing like that, that if you come from just IIT Bombay, you'll be put in a particular domain. Even if we interact with the alums also appreciate that the students coming over here are actually having very good knowledge about the subjects that are related to management. So it's never like that these guys are only having technical knowledge. It's about the management school. It's and the entire subject, the entire course, the entire 2 years of education that you get is completely management driven. So you end up in management roles only.
No, because as far as
And I would
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I would like to add here that आपने जैसे बोला था कि we are like IIT, so how are we perceived in the market as IITians? So we have a rich history of 34 years. So since there has been a MBA program since 34 years, and in the market, the MBA part of IIT Bombay is very well known. So in terms of recruiters also, and all the companies, they are very well aware of the MBA program which is present at the institute. So there is less chances that we face any kind of bias that अरे IIT से MBA कर लिया जो which you are just mentioning right now.
No, so I'll just clear यहाँ पे because अगर मैं IITs को सामने रखूँ, IIT दिल्ली, खड़गपुर, IIT बॉम्बे, रुड़की वगैरह, I think जिस टाइप का पिकअप IIT बॉम्बे ने करा है, I haven't seen even Delhi has been able to do that, to be very honest, because at my level I can understand, at an industry level I can understand कि IIT बॉम्बे की क्या वैल्यू है. It's amazing. बट बच्चों का ये क्वेश्चन आता है कि सर आईआईटी है फिर मैं करूँ या ना करूँ. बट आई आस्क यू सम टफ क्वेश्चंस आल्सो. प्लीज डू आंसर दैट. लेट्स से अगर किसी का लखनऊ नहीं होता है, कोझिकोड नहीं होता है, इंदौर नहीं होता है, आपको लगता है उसको सेम एक्सपोजर मिल सकता है आईआईटी बॉम्बे में?
Yes, sir. So I'll take up that question. So
Yeah,
if you can see our recruiters from the previous reports as well, right? The companies that visit here do visit all top IIMs as well. And even considering our placement, we are on par with the top IIMs. So there's no bias as to, how a bias with regards to IIT or IIMs. We are considered a top-notch management school, and that is the image we have.
ओके. कैंपस के बारे में बताया आपने कि बॉम्बे के बीचों बीच सेंटर में सच अ ब्यूटीफुल कैंपस. बाय द वे, आईआईटी बॉम्बे का कैंपस बहुत बहुत अच्छा है, सो आप देख लेना यार. कपल ऑफ थिंग्स आई वांट टू आस्क फ्रॉम माय साइड. सो ये जो बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज आ रही है ना, मोस्टली प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट मिलना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं, कंसल्टिंग रोल मिलना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं, बिकॉज आईएम्स में भी इंजीनियर्स ही वहां पे जा रहे हैं, राइट? आई वुड लव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि यार आपके यहाँ पे प्राइवेट इक्विटी आ रहा है, वेंचर कैपिटल आ रहा है जो एबीसी में आता है, कोई कोड नहीं जाता है, एफएमएस एक्सेलर वाले कंपनीज आपके यहाँ पे आते हैं, एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग आल्सो. वुड यू माइंड टचिंग बेस ऑन दिस, बिकॉज देयर आर लॉट ऑफ किड्स, दे आर वेरी स्पेसिफिक कि अगर मुझे एबीसी मिलता है तो मैं चले जाऊंगा, केएल मिलता है तो इन रोल्स के लिए मैं चले जाऊंगा, बेसिकली नॉन इंजीनियर जो 15% आपके यहाँ पे है. सो अगर आपको कुछ आइडिया होगा तो थोड़ा सा इसके ऊपर टच बेस कर देना.
Yes, sir. So I would like to take that. So as you rightly said, so private equity या जो भी है जो top IIMs में जाते हैं वो they are also visiting our college. It's because of the electives that we offer in the finance. So the electives that we offer in the finance are exactly matching with the electives that we have in the ABC. And for the finance, it also depends on the faculty. Since we have a great faculty for finance, so that gives us an edge to perform better when these companies come in the interviews.
By the way, you know
Sir,
what अभी मुझे बोला ना, great faculties in finance. Guys, more 99% of ABC faculties na, those are really stalwart in finance, are engineers from
Yes,
IIT. Actually.
Yes.
So that helps. Yeah, go ahead, Harsh. Tell me.
So, sir, I was just adding on that, as we had mentioned that there are a lot of CAs, CFAs, CWFAs, and these people also that are part of our batch. So, these
Is it?
kind of profiles, yes, yes. So these kind of profiles also attract the recruiters as well, right? And it works both ways. So recruiters also look for these kind of profiles, and also like Kshitish mentioned that there are a lot of electives in finance that are offered like exclusively here other than ABCs also. So these are things like the recruiters also see. That's it.
Okay. And
Yes.
percentile पे apply करना चाहिए 97, 98, 98.50. कितने पे अप्लाई करना चाहिए?
Sir, I would take that up. So it's nothing like you cannot apply to any of the percentiles. It should definitely apply if you have an higher percentile like 97, 98. You should definitely go for it, because if you look at the shortlist criteria as well, it's not just that the CAT is given all the weightage. It's about the CAT as well as the PI scores at the end. So at the end, what really matters is how much you have in your graduation, your 10th, 12th, your extracurriculars, and as well how well you're able to speak in your PI. So a lot depends upon the PI as well, how it goes. So definitely definitely the candidates should apply even if they have like 97, 98. It's not like they shouldn't apply. Even I would say that all candidates who are willing to apply to SOM, they should definitely go ahead and apply, because it is at the end on your graduation score as well. So if you have a great graduation score, great 12th score, you should definitely apply.
So मेरे ख्याल से anything touching 97 is a good number to apply to IIT Bombay MBA, isn't it? Okay. Okay.
Definitely.
अच्छा, I'm sorry to interrupt, but out of curiosity, जैसे नॉन इंजीनियर का कट ऑफ बहुत कम होता है IIMs में, वैसे आपके यहाँ पे भी है कि नॉन इंजीनियर सिर्फ 1992 में भी आ जाएगा? Do you have any batchmates at 1992 but general category?
Yes, so usually for them we do offer diversity points. So the non-engineers who come here, so they must have a master's degree. So in that case, they get an extra 5% weightage. So when that is scaled in the composite score, so it is likely to happen that the CAT percentile for those candidates will be slightly lower than their peers who are not getting those additional 5%.
So Bhavesh, let's say a non-engineer female gets the diversity point पक्का because of gender diversity and academic दोनों मिल जाएगा. बट अगर मेरा बंदा अप्लाई करता है, कोई स्टूडेंट हुज अ मेल, राइट, तो उसको भी आपका डाइवर्सिटी, एकेडमिक डाइवर्सिटी का पॉइंट मिलेगा?
Yes, sir. Academic diversity will be given to everyone who have a master's degree or a CA, CFA, or a MBBS or LLB degree.
यार पहली बार लड़कों को डाइवर्सिटी का मार्क्स मिल रहा है आईआईटी में, बहुत बड़ी बात है. कूल है, कूल. आई थिंक दैट्स अ वैलिड पॉइंट. ठीक है, सो वी गॉट सीएस, वी गॉट सीएस, सीएफए भी है, सीडब्ल्यू वाले भी बच्चे बैठे हैं. नाइस. एनी अदर पॉइंट यू वांट टू कंटिन्यू?
I think, do we have any questions on the chat?
They have some typical engineering questions like I don't know what the ECA, what all are the things that one need to do, extracurricular achievements. You guys can pick that up if you wish to.
Yeah, so as mentioned in our the application form, the extracurriculars will have to be either state level or national level, and they have to be podium finishes at that. These tournaments have to be open for all and not just be limited to a specific domain or set of people. So this, I think, should answer the extracurriculars question.
Okay, cool. Anything else you guys want to cover in this presentation? Okay, cool है. Thank you so very much. I am very sure ये सेशन हेल्प करेगा बच्चों को टू अंडरस्टैंड कि एटलीस्ट आईआईटी बॉम्बे के लिए अप्लाई करना चाहिए, नहीं करना चाहिए, एंड वो कट ऑफ एंड नॉन इंजीनियर का जो प्रॉब्लम था, आई थिंक मोस्टली वो सॉल्व हो गया. I will also be calling you guys once the calls are out, and you being the admissions committee should be helping kids for the preparation. And guys, thank you so very much, those who are watching us right now and those who will be watching us in the future. So thank you so very much for that. There are still questions on the recruiters and all that. They're asking Blackstone आता है क्या, BlackRock आता है क्या, and all that stuff. So I think placement report देख लेना एक बारी. You want to cover that? What all recruiters are coming on the campus?
Yeah, so for that, I think, again, I was going to say the same. The placement report is a very good source to look at the recruiters which visit college.
There is a Chinese wall between admissions committee and the placement committee. They're like, you don't touch my department, I won't touch yours. Cool है. So guys, we'll do a detailed video. मैं खुद कर लूंगा detailed video placement के ऊपर IIT Bombay के. What's the last date, by the way, Kshitish?
So 31st of January, 5 p.m. is the last date.
Yeah, chalega. I'll put a video, guys, for every one of you. And thank you so much, yaar. Thank you so much, guys, for giving some time. Take care. That's it from my side, guys. Thank you. Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.